All right, so today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the importance and the need for orthotics. When appropriate, an orthotic is actually a very powerful tool for unlocking the body, getting rid of any patterns that are highly ingrained into the body, and to help the person experience better stability and grounding through their feet up through the chain. So as an example, I have this skeleton here model just kind of demonstrating that if a foot is been chronically misaligned for a long period of time, structural changes start to take place in the foot. Could lead to that foot being rolled out, a higher arch. Maybe you feel like you're weight bearing more on the outside edge of this foot. And as I start to take this foot into that position, do you see what's kind of happening at the knee? You can see the stress and strain on this knee, the gapping that's happening right here, the compression that's happening on the inside of that knee. Those ground, so whenever that skeleton in this shape takes a step on the ground reaction forces coming up through a misaligned foot will actually trigger a cascade up the chain through the knee, abnormally causing compression on the inside of this knee, up into the hip and throwing off the pelvis, which if we take it even further, could lead to issues all the way up into the head and neck. So it's very important that we get appropriate balanced forces through this foot. And for some people, that foot is just stuck, has been so attuned to being in that one position for so long. Maybe it was an injury that you suffered many years ago. Maybe it's a pain that you've been working around in your foot for a really long time. Whatever the reason is, the right orthotic at the right time can be pivotal. It is not a crutch. It's a tool to be used. Now, I don't think orthotics should be used long term. The goal is always to wean away from these orthotics and learn to keep your foot in a better alignment on your own with your own musculature system. So I want to say that it's not something you're supposed to be using your whole entire life, but they can be really helpful tools. Now, let me talk a little bit more about how we go about getting a good impression and getting a quality orthotic that's good for your alignment. So we use biofoam impression foam at our office here, and something that's really important as we're taking the impression, you can see in this foam we've taken some impressions here for a gentleman that's going to be shipped out soon. And so it's customized to his individual foot shape and size, and we're trying to regulate the plane of the foot on the floor by putting it through this foam that can deform. But when I'm doing it, I'm making sure that his structure is in good alignment. I'm checking his pelvis, maybe doing an exercise, an activity right before we take that impression to make sure his body is in balance, in symmetry as much as possible. And then as I'm pushing, you can see here, I'll open up this side. If I'm taking the impression, the person is sitting, not like this, but we've got their foot like this. I'm looking that knee and hip are in good alignment. And then I'm also going to be trying to find that person's neutral foot and ankle position. So everybody's foot and ankle is a little different, and your neutral is different. So I do it by touch, and then I hold that foot and ankle in that neutral position and push it into that foam in that spot. That way we get a registration of that person's individual neutral, not anything other than that person's neutral, not compared to anything else. So we do that for each side, and then we package this up, ship it out to Dr. Paul Coffin, and he is an expert, has been doing this for years. He makes a very special, unique kind of orthotic with special material that actually has a little bit of give to it. So it's not a super rigid orthotic, it's a semi-rigid material that he uses. And if you want to know more about that unique material and the approach he takes for his orthotics that is unique to him, go ahead and go onto his website, PRIorthotics.com, and he goes into why he chose that material in great depth. So we also do want him to understand that person's structure and anatomy and the challenges they're dealing with. So I go ahead and take a photograph, I don't know if you can see here, of that person laying on the table, and we let gravity just allow the feet to fall where they want to fall. And so even in this picture, you can see that the asymmetry in the feet, that's showing the asymmetry in this person's body that we're trying to balance out. You can see how this right foot and this person has a special situation going on, but this foot over the years has twisted out and is more supinated as well compared to the other side. And so we give that information to Dr. Kaufman as well, and he takes that into account as he's hand making this person's custom orthotics. And in our clinic, we find this tool to be invaluable for those that need it. So if you're wondering if that's something that you might benefit from, check us out at our website, nextleveltherapyfl.com. We're happy to speak with you.